Hi, I'm Dave from Hector's Smokehouse, and today I'm going to be doing a different review. Normally I'm looking at barbecues that do low and slow, but today I'm going to do a review on the Heston Blumenthal Everdure Fusion. So this is the unit itself here today. Very nice looking unit on first pass. I'm going to do a walkthrough of opening the box and putting it together. But I'll talk about really what it is and what it isn't. So obviously you look at the barbecue and it's not a traditional low and slow, so you're not going to be doing low and slow on here. You can do indirect and direct cooking, but to be honest this is going to be more about direct cooking with cool zones where you can move charcoal to one side. It also has a fantastic rotisserie as well, so you can have chickens going directly over charcoal, which is really good. The other thing it doesn't have is a hood. So again, a lot of us are used to cooking with hoods even when we're grilling and doing hot and fast, and this one doesn't do that. But it's got a lot of other additional features. So if I go through some of the features that are actually on here, and I'll talk about them more in depth. It does have a rotisserie on the barbecue. These mounts actually go up and down, so you've got 3 settings on these mounts. It all clips in together very easily, and when after it's been used you can dispose of it into the side, so it all fits together really well. The prongs for attaching the chicken or whatever else you put in on here have grip-lock technology, which allows them to move in and out without having to wind anything up, which is really good. In here it has an element which will warm up your charcoal and heat your charcoal up after about 10 minutes. So it means that you don't have to get a chimney going or do anything else, but you do need to have it plugged into the mains, the electricity, to actually get it going in the first instance. But I'll go through that and show you that as well. And then on the other side we have a retractable cord as well for the electrics, so you can move the electric, pull the plug out and plug in to do the actual heating element. There's also a lid that goes on and also acts as a windshield. So what I'll do is I'll go through each of the features that are actually on here, explain them in a bit more detail, and then get on to doing a first cook. I'm going to cook some steaks on here and see how it goes. So let's start at the side of the Everdure. What you've got in here is a retractable plug. This is for the heating element. I'd say that's around about 1.5 meters long, but it goes away very nicely, so just pull it and it retreats back in. So that's a really nice feature in terms of the power and being able to plug it into the wall or into an extension. So here we have the fast flame ignition system. So there's a switch on the side, and in here you can see a heating element. It's got a pan underneath. This actually lifts up so it comes out of the way, and this protects the element and then just pushes down back into place. So you've got the element in there. It's supposed to take about 9 minutes to actually ignite. This is a porcelain enamel tray that goes in there, and then obviously you're going to pile up your charcoal on there, get them nice and hot, and then spread them to the side. And then on top of there you have the grill, So this is the grill for if you're doing over the grill cooking. Obviously you take this out if you actually want to do anything with a rotisserie. The good thing with this, you obviously need some gloves on, but this actually lifts, so very easy to put more charcoal in. Close it back down and lifts at the other side, and you can put more charcoal in this side as well. So it's very simple to use and quite user friendly. So the Fusion comes with a built-in rotisserie which folds away really nicely. So to activate the rotisserie you just press these down. These have 3 settings, so you're just going to twist them into position. So that's setting 3, setting 2 and setting 1. So we'll set that up at setting 3 and press the other one, same again. We'll lift it up, setting 3 and turn it into place. In here is, so this is called a Rotascope technology, and then they have a Cliplock system for doing the rotisserie. So everything goes into here, out of the way. So what you've got is the main skewer and two sets of prongs, Cliplock prongs. So this obviously, you look at this and it's not long enough to fit. So what happens, you unscrew it, it goes down and you keep turning until it locks into position, and then that's it at the full length. You slide on the prongs, and instead of having a normal thumb screw, which can be a real pain at times trying to tighten that up, this actually has a clip lock system. So you can just put these on, and you can imagine if you've got your chicken in there and you're just actually going to push those down and clip them into position. On the Rotascope, this actually lifts up and goes into there, and you just fasten it into the end and clip that over. Then all you've got is a button on the front which you press, and that actually starts the rotisserie. So you can see how the rotisserie works. Also you've got a lid, and it doubles up as a windshield. So when you finish cooking, the lid goes on, covers everything over. And then you can get covers to actually go on there as well. And then when you're actually cooking and you've got a bit of wind going, then you can just lift this off, and it's got a couple of little attachment hooks on the side, and it'll just stay in place, and that actually protects the actual charcoal burning and takes some of the wind blowing off there onto it. So on the front of the barbecue you can see 2 switches. The first one is for the fast flame ignition system. So they reckon it's going to be around about 9 or 10 minutes to actually get your charcoal hot, and I think it turns itself off after about 7 minutes. So it's set and forget, you don't have to worry about it, you don't have to remember to turn it off. After 7 minutes it turns itself off. And this is for the Rotascope. So this is for the rotisserie system, and you just press that button to start off the rotisserie system as well. So down at the bottom you can see the base that actually goes onto the unit. So this is optional, you can either buy it with or without the actual base. That bottom plate is incredibly heavy, very heavy to lift, a lot of stainless steel in there. The main pole is also very heavy. The little cover that goes on there is just plastic, and then obviously this is a bit more lightweight, and the barbecue's actually sitting in there, which is pretty good. So really well made, it's not going to go anywhere, very robust and very strong. So I'll quickly show you the Rotascope working. So just pull out the cable locks in place, just going to plug it into power. Could hear that actually bleep, and press this button at the front, and there you go. You can see the Rotascope actually twisting, and that is incredibly quiet, to be honest. That is incredibly quiet, you cannot hear that turning, which is pretty impressive. So yeah, so that's the Rotascope working, you can see the speed of it, and yeah, very quiet operation. So I'm going to load this up and try and do the first cook. I'm going to load it up with lumpwood charcoal. So I've got a bit of lumpwood in the back garden. Let's see how we go. So I think it can take up to about 1.2 kilos actually onto the heating element to start it. So it's not the biggest lumpwood in the world, but it'll do to get it going. see if I can find a few. Better lumps. So I think that'll do in terms of trying to get things going. We'll just leave them there, and that should hopefully start us off. So all we've got to do is actually press the fast flame ignition system, which is this button here. So that's been pressed now, and that'll run for about 7 minutes. And what we'll also do is, we'll leave that to go and see how that actually goes, and then once we've done that, we'll put the grates back on, but obviously it's piled up at the moment. So this should take around about 10 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll see what it looks like. So I'm currently about a minute in, and you can already see at a minute we're actually seeing a lot of smoke coming off the charcoal. I'll come back and check it at a few regular intervals and show you exactly what it looks like. So currently we're at about 6 minutes, and I can definitely see the charcoal's on fire at the bottom. I don't know whether this will zoom in. Let's have a go. But it's actually getting somewhere near there and on the go. So it's definitely starting to catch now. And I think I actually just heard it turn itself off in terms of the ignition system. So obviously what's going to happen now is the charcoals are just going to keep getting hot, and eventually we'll get them nice and white. Then I'll spread them around, and we're going to do a few ribeye steaks on here. Okay, so this is about 17 or 18 minutes, so I'm just going to start spreading out the coals a little bit in a minute, and then we should be ready soon to actually start cooking. Okay, right, let's start to try and move a few of these coals around. So you can feel the heat, very nice and warm. Very warm. And as you know, we're only cooking a couple of steaks, so this should be pretty good, I think. And get that out of the way. That's not looking too bad. I think what I'll do as well, can always throw a few more coals in there and get them going, so we'll get plenty of heat going. So I'm going to do like a direct and an indirect side, so once I've got the steaks I can sort of move them backwards and forwards, so I don't burn anything. So they just cook really nicely. So I don't think that looks too bad. We'll then leave it another few more minutes just to make sure everything's going nice and white. And then I reckon we'll be pretty good to go then. So yeah, that's not looking too bad. So what we'll also do then is just now put on the grill. And as you can see, you can put the grill on. This can you can get hold of this and lift it up if you want to later on. So we'll cook directly over that side. So I'll come back in another minute or two and we'll start cooking. Okay, so this is what we're cooking. 3 scotches. Not the best scotches I've ever bought, but they'll do for doing the cook. So I think they'll be should work out okay. So off we go. Don't know what this will go like, but we're going to throw a few nice sprigs of rosemary on there and see if that gets some of the flavour into the steaks. So we'll see what they actually go like coming off there. So I'm hoping some of this flavour goes into it. Okay, so there you go. Steaks are on, plenty of heat there. Doesn't seem too bad. Nice and hot, so we'll put the timer on and we'll see how we go. I'll be back in again in a few seconds. Okay, so let's have a look and see what this looks like. So probably not a pink enough, but that actually looks pretty good. So I'm quite happy with the way this one looks. Very nice. So no, I'd say that was a reasonable success. Pretty happy with the first go using the Everdure. Okay, so that was the end of the first cook on the Everdure. I think it was really good if you accept what it's actually going to cook. It's going to be good at doing hot and fast things. So if you're doing steaks, sausages, cutlets, those type of things, it's going to do a really fine job, admirable job. I think if you're going to use the rotisserie and do something like picanha, or if you're going to do a chicken, I think being able to take those out is really good. I think aesthetically it's very, very pleasing. You're not really going to do low and slow on here, but that's not what it's really there for. So if you're doing hot and fast, you want something that looks a little bit different, a little bit funky, you're happy not having a lid and cooking without a lid, then I think it does a pretty good job. It looks very nice, and the starter took a little bit longer than as advertised. I think it said about 10 minutes. It took about 20 minutes before you could spread things around, but again, that's not a problem. That's what you expect when you're cooking with charcoal. And then the flavours that came off the charcoal were good as well. So overall, pretty good first cook. What I will do is over the next week, I'll look towards maybe doing something on the rotisserie. I'll either do chicken, or I'm going to do some picanha with some rump cap. Hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, please hit like down below on the channel, and I hope to talk to you again soon. Thank you, bye.